What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Merricks Garage. Today, we're doing some fab work. I am building a rear bumper for the K30 Blazer. When I finished linking the Blazer, I was stressed for time. I want to really make it out to hammers, and so the bumper, and I use that term lightly, the bumper I built to get me out there essentially was just to hold the fuel tank in place. No skid plate, no nothing, just two straps. I should have taken care of that before I went out to Moab, but as you guys may remember, I was scrunched for time once again and focused on getting my skid plate underneath the transfer case done. Well, I did have some fueling issues due to the lack of a bumper, and I set about remedying that a couple weeks ago. I've been doing this video for a while. I've got a bunch of others lined up on the fuel cell, on the tire gator that you guys are going to get to see a sneak peek at, and a bunch of other cool things. I've got some stuff coming out on these small RC trucks, these scale rock crawlers. It's action-packed right now. So I think you guys are going to dig this video. I get a lot of requests about fab videos and especially tube bumpers and roll cages and things like that. So you guys are going to dig this one. I'll be finishing up the bumper build here in the next week or two, and so there'll be more videos coming out on that. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you guys are kept abreast of what I'm doing and what's coming up, and hit that bell thing and you'll get notified if you want to do that too. Also, check out the Amazon store. I'm still getting tons of people asking me like where I got the fuel access hatch, or what shocks I use, or what fuel pump is best. It's all in the Amazon store. Amazon.com/shop/JWMerrick. Go find it at my website. Shouldn't be too hard to find. It's plastered everywhere, and it's broken down so that all the parts are categorized. Hopefully it's fairly easy for you guys to work out. I've also got something else I want to try with you guys. I get hit up a lot to do reviews and stuff like that. I'm constantly getting companies sending me stuff, and I've started turning them down because I don't really need any more light bars. I've discovered that $50 light bars really don't work. But I had the epiphany that why don't you guys do the review for me? Here's what I'm talking about. I got sent these Luma headlights. They don't fit in my truck. They're perfectly good. They're sitting here wasting space. I want to send it to one of you guys to do a review on it. And I've got a bunch of stuff. I've got jump starters. I've got LED headlights. It's mostly stuff from China, but let's be honest, free stuff is still free stuff. So if you guys are interested, I don't know how we'll do it, but I'm just throwing the idea out there that I'd love to send this stuff to you guys, have you guys do a review, send it to me, and I will put it up on the channel. Because, yeah, we need to do reviews on this stuff, and these good companies are sending it to us. So, it's only fair that we do that. Anyway, enough housekeeping. This video is cool. You'll dig it. Merrick's Garage. Hey, what's up, guys? Coming to you from Nocturnal Welding. We are building a bumper, and I have been making cardboard templates.
Hey, what's up, man?
We've now transitioned to these kind of templates out of sheet, and now we're going to be cutting it out of 3/8 here in a few minutes. So the process has been actually really cool. I've never done this before, but I did some cardboard aided design where I would make a template out of cardboard. I'd send it down to Elijah. He would drag it into his CAD program and get it all into that. He'd then cut me something on this tiny sheet. I'd see how it fit. I'd send him back my modifications, and we'd do it again. So we're on Gen 3 of these, and we're down to the point where we're going to be cutting it out of 3/8 today. This should be the final piece. But yeah, this has been really fun to see how computers can make this stuff work for us. Let's go check it out. What are you doing?
Zeroing it out.
So are my files in the computer?
You can see it right here.
The files are in the computer. Okay.
So you did it in Fusion 360, and now we're zeroing it out on the plate, and then we'll be ready to cut.
I wonder if we're going to be able to get 4 out of this.
Looks like you're getting 1.
Maybe you should zero it out back here. This is some burly. That's 3/8 right there. So here's how this has been working. I take a picture of the template I've made, I text it over, and then magic happens. So the bumper build is starting to take shape here. These are my 3/8 thick side plates that Nocturnal Welding helped me cut. So the plan is, this right here is going to get radius so I can put some tube down in here. This will cap off the rear of the bumper. This plate will tie in up to the top area. And yeah, it's starting to line up, and you can see the difference in the frame where it's, yeah. So, progress. It's gonna be burly. Okay, here's some updates on the fuel cell and bumper. So as you can see, the bumper is on, but it's not perfect. This, there you can see what I'm dealing with. That is the deviation in the cage coming from that bend. But what it has done is it has straightened this side really pretty well. And I'm using this as my benchmark. This is where I'm going to be building everything off of. I know that the entire bumper is straight, and so I can see where I need to be lining up following all these other lines. But let's talk about the fuel cell. This is the Jazz Products fuel cell. This is the inner tank, and it's got a metal tank to go around it, but I'm using this for fitment purposes, and it's working quite well. So this is it centered. I'm gonna try and raise it a little bit because it's a little bit below my frame plates. I'm pleasantly surprised here how this is starting to line up. I notched right here on this plate so I could run this 1.75 by 120 wall tube all along. This is going to act as a lower bash for the tank, which is that's where the tank's going to be. It's now centered, and I have enough room. That's where the fuel inlet's going to go, and the sending unit's going to be right behind it. I do want to throw credit where credit is due. First time I saw this bumper, I think it was an Off-Road Designs bumper. In fact, I know it was an Off-Road Designs bumper. I just didn't know that at the time. I always save pictures of things I like around the internet, Instagram and things like that. Second time was Chimbim Garage, former employee of Off-Road Designs. Now I think he owns and runs Pivotal Manufacturing. But anyway, he'd done some modifications to his Off-Road Designs bumper, and I really liked the direction he headed in. So that's where the inspiration for this came from. So the objective at this point is this piece is going to sweep up here, and it's going to tie into this piece that comes across right under here. Those two will be determinant right there. This piece down here is it's actually, this is the exact length it needs to be to give me 20-inch wrap to an 80 degree that'll be a 20-inch piece right here. This 38 1/4 to right here. Another 20-inch piece at a 10 degree bend. 10 degree bend. So 80 degree, 10 degree, 10 degree, 80 degree, out to here. So at this point right here, you'll have this sweeping up, that one coming out, and that one coming around. So ideally, right here will be where most of the strength is. this is what we're looking at on my rear bumper. This is a top-down view, so we're standing above the truck looking down on it. This is what's already on. This is 38¼ inches wide, and it is 6 inches deep. I'm gonna have one piece of tube, ideally. It's that piece there that I've already marked. It's gonna come down here. It's gonna have a 100-degree bend right here, progressing down 20 inches to a 10-degree bend. Well, it's more than 10. That's 170 right there, depending on where you measure it from. Straight, and then obviously the opposite. This bar right here is going to be a 20-inch piece of tube that will tie in to this piece right here. So this is looking at it from the top down. Let's look at it from the from head on or behind. So license plate right here, so you guys get your orientation down. This 20-inch bar right here is going to be behind this one. This is the one that's going to run across the front, and there will be another one directly behind it that will be at the same height. This underneath piece will be bent at a very similar angle to this guy to tie in. Once again, 38¼ but 22-degree bend right here to join up here. So there will be 3 pieces coming into this corner right here to drive it up and around. So yeah, my computer-aided, cardboard-aided design. Yeah, that's pretty funny. You gotta love it. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? So here is the support structure that I'm gonna be using for my skid plate base. It's, not sure which way I'm gonna run it. I think it's upside down, right? Nope, it's right way up. So pretend that my table right here is gonna be the skid plate. And up here, this is a frame rail. Yeah, I think this is gonna work. It's 16 inches and it has to fit on 24. So that's basically how it's gonna look. And this will give me the depth I need to clear the tank. This swag table is awesome. I did all this with the Portaband. I'm using math and stuff. Okay, I'm fairly happy with how these turned out. Now keep in mind, this isn't really going to be under any significant stress. So it's not the thickest stuff in the world, but it's going to work pretty well for what I envision, which is... So this is the way I'm going to run this tube, because this is burly. Having 3 supports going into the 10 gauge plate will provide that with a lot more deformity protection. And I may run another piece, it's like some angle iron across the front of it. But yeah, this is, I'm obviously going to need to do a little bit of work on this bracket to get it down seated flatter. But this is how far it's going to extend. It's 25 inches, the tank is. So 25 inches from here leads me to right there. So this will not be square tube. This is where the flat plate's going to be. So obviously it's going to be 2 inches higher. So it's going to be up there. This is going to be nice and tucked out of the way. Stoked. It's going to look pretty cool when this is all done. I'm thinking. EJ has some awesome tools. He's been collecting fabrication tools a lot longer than me and knows how to use them a lot better than I do. So I come to him for my hardcore fabrication. Well, hardcore from me. So today we're going to be bending some tube to do the wrap bar and the underlying bumper bar. I'm going to be putting this flat bar in the brake back there to put some bends in it for the gas tank straps. And we're also cutting some plate out on the table for the fuel pump sealing. So I think that's it. That's a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's a good job He knows what he's doing.
Show him this overcomplicated circle.
Yeah, we've made like the most complicated circle in the world. But when I explain to him what it's for and why it has to be that way, he's going to understand. As long as I use small words and do my diagrams and crayons.
You ever send somebody something? Use real sketches. Triple define every dimension on the thing. I'm going off of cardboard here.
With numbers. Cardboard with numbers.
It's all good though.
All that matters is numbers. Just draw two circles.
Yeah, I did it like that my whole life.
You want a cookie or something?
Now I'm down to computers again.
I know. Okay, let's do this. I just bent the brackets for the gas tank on the brake, and they came out really, really good. So that's what's going to be holding down the tank, and that's going to bolt to that, which is the skid. But here is the cool part. These are my two rings for the sending unit. This guy here, put that on for me, one for me. Oh wait, okay, that guy goes right like that. Oh, brother.
Merricks garage.
Dude, that came out perfect. So now I'll be able to run bolts. Now I'll be able to run bolts through this. Yeah. I'm just gonna have to window this so I can get it in, but boom, 2 for 2. Right there. Dude, I have to say, this has come out. Now, the true test is going to be going home and seeing if it fits on the bumper. But this skid is the width and depth it's supposed to be. So if it's lining up with the skid, then we're good. So there's the straps for the fuel cell. So this is how the fuel cell is going to sit. The fuel cell is going to be bolted onto this plate. These guys are going to be welded on right there. And then it's going to be bolted, I think, I'm going to try to figure that out, bolted to that rear bar. The bottom, this one right here, the second one. This is the wrap bar that's going to be up at the top. But dude, look at these bends. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty amped on this. Nice work, dude. Heck yeah. Dude, it's so fun to watch projects come together. This is kind of a work in progress because I kind of get ideas as I'm moving along. And my initial idea was to have the bumper basically protect the whole underside, and then I wasn't sure I was going to do the skid, and then how am I going to mount the skid to the... But everything is kind of... I mean, the tank fits perfectly. The straps that are going to hold it down. And bottom line, dude, I love being able to build everything. Even the top plates for the fuel pump. It's really cool to be able to build your stuff. This table, the CAD table, makes a huge difference. So I'm stoked. Right on, right on, right on! Let's go try it on my truck. It fits. It fits really well. Yeah. Yeah, really well. I'm building the bumper in stages here so I can get the truck back on the road. Right now, getting the fuel cell back in, and I'm gonna have a separate video on the fuel cell. I tried to put it all into one video and it's just too much. So look real soon for a video on the fuel cell, why a fuel cell, how I chose it, and how we installed it. So that said, the fuel cell's pretty much in. I need to do some modifications on terms of how high it sits. My main concern is under full compression, full bump, the rear differential is going to be obviously coming up and it may be hitting that skid plate if I'm not careful. But I've got it lined up. I'm pretty happy with how it's come together. I've got the wrap bars to put on. Those are going to come on later. I want to get the frame straightened before I start really burning in stuff. So at this point, I'll show you where we're at. I would ignore the tire carrier. That's going to be another video too. But here we go. This gap needs to close up by about 1 inch, I would say, which is going to require taking about 1 inch off the bottom of these guys. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this piece right here, whether I'm going to try and bend it up and around or what. I am toying with the idea of having this yank strap that I got from Snevy Off-Road just kind of tucked away in there. But here's what we're looking at. Here's how it lines up. Yeah, really fired up on how this came together. And open this guy. Yep. Very cool. Trying to get an idea of how much I'm going to need to cut off of these guys right down there to get this thing where I want it. I'm thinking this right here is 1/4 inch. That plate back there that I'm gonna have another one of is 1/8. So that is close to 1/2 inch. And that 1/2 inch would suck up this another 1/2 inch, which would leave me in a pretty good spot. So I think that's what I'm gonna be looking at. I think it's time to pull this guy out. Cut these guys down for their final positioning. And this is where the bottom tube's gonna run. And ideally, I'm gonna be able to heat this up with my torch and wrap it around and underneath this tube. Ideally. That's what I'd like to see if I can get done. Okay, it looks like it's in. So it's pretty level right here. It's coming together. It's coming together. I'm ready to finally burn this in, I think, and start doing some paint. And yeah, the tire gator is awesome.